If I'm not mistaken, I'll be the next one to be interviewed.
Yeah, I know. I think we're going to wait until Tuesday when we come to ECF to interview either you or Marilyn, right?
Oh, yeah, that is true.
Yeah, because we need to get you near your artwork and stuff. And then we'll eventually do Chris.
I'm doing Basilio. I'm the artist from the ECF.
Hi, my name's Joanna Wilkins. I attend United Cerebral Palsy, LA.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So what does it inspires you?
I'm inspired a lot by the nature around me, animals and the outdoors, drawing people, sometimes painting people. Photography, taking different pictures of nature and different people and art shows that we've had in the past here at UCPLA, Washington Reed Gallery. The painting is interesting for me to do. I look at the image, and then from the image I draw the image, and then from there I paint in the details, and then after I paint in the details, I paint around the details. So I'm not blending the colors too close together, especially when I'm working with acrylic. Watercolors is a little different. I can blend a little better.
How long have you been in the UCP?
I've been doing artwork here for the past 4.5 years. And when I started, I focused mostly on painting, watercolor and acrylic. And I really enjoyed that, but for the past 1.5 years, I've gotten into photography and 3D printing. This piece it's a 3D piece. It's a mixture of 3D art and painting with acrylics. And I think I painted a little bit with acrylics and a little bit with watercolor. And this piece was inspired by a trip I took on the Colorado River. And this is supposed to be the Grand Canyon. Photography is more, you take an image of photography and the image is right there. You can see it instantly. Whereas painting, you have to, see the image from a book and then visualize it in your head and then draw it on a blank piece of paper and then paint it. So it's a much more involved process, and it doesn't come together right away. You have to slowly make it come together. And this picture over here, I've taken a photograph and then I painted over the photograph. When I do painting or photography or any kind of artwork, I like to picture in my mind being in the photograph and just painting what I see around me, whether it's a picture from a magazine or a picture just made up in my head.
So what do you feel about your community?
I think it's really important for a person to have a sense of community, and my sense of community, what I interpret it as, is the friends that I've made here at UCP and doing artwork with them and viewing other scenes out around Culver City. Hold it up, let me see. There you go. Oh, hiding your face. Come on, put it down, Betsy. How long have you been an artist, Renzo?
5 years. I'm so sorry.
5 years, wow.
Really?
What's your favorite part about being an artist?
What are you doing, Steve? I need to get by. I need to get by. And Chris is right behind you.
Because you can do what you want? What inspires you the most when you do your artwork?
The creativity of art is because like I'm able to get different ideas from simple little shapes. I remember like when I was in college, I had a symbol, a diamond symbol. I told myself, that gives me ideas. I came out with something. I came out with one of my characters. Instead, like that shape of a diamond. The diamond was the head. I just made it, and the body was I started the head. Then from there, decided to give it a body. Pretty much, I was going to color the whole thing, but my instructor told me like whatever color, just writing down on that sketchbook to do the same trace.
Can you describe a little bit more about the picture behind us?
The picture I'm doing is a spaceship. It takes place from my characters. That ship is able to. That ship was made for combat ready. Instead, like one of my characters, Wages, is the newborn baby. So pretty much, her mom is escaping from the war. So they end up taking the spaceship. Only 2 people. He and the mom. So they just land crash on Earth on the forest. Sadly, like the mom died, but the baby survived.
Interesting. You have a lot of elaboration in your work. Have you done any more pieces like that, where you have developed stories around the other pieces?
Yes, there's 2. Their characters are really developed on their own planet, what Lost and Blade. They're mostly developed on their own world. They what Major Widget, that's the planet. And for Blade, pretty much when he was little, and during the war, they cut his arm in the leg. So pretty much the things like the parent from Lost, from the other world, they came for backup.
What do you think about when you do your artwork?
Yeah, I think about it. It's peaceful and a stress release. It does take away stress.
Same for me too.
Just like so far, like I didn't learn like once doing artwork, there's no just things a mistake. Like even mistakes is able to make your drawing to look good. to look better. People might like it. Like, it's artist because like once you're doing it, you're the one. If you see a mistake, pretty much it does stresses you out. Though if it's easy to forget, like other people, they will notice it. They will look at the big picture only.
What do you think about your community?
Pretty much like community. There's a really nice people. Like there's staff members. They do give you tips to help you out from the drawing. And there's clients. They're pretty much livable people.
Why do they inspire you?
I feel like everybody has their own different talent of drawing. In the sense of like I'm those kind of people who doesn't look for favorites. I don't have no favorites, so I rather treat everybody equally.
Wow.
I use a little fire to create this fire and those boxes. I just used to overlay them.
Stamps.
Yeah, the stamps.
Yeah. So you ink it and you can press it on paper and you have an image?
Ah, yes.
Interesting. Right.
You want to fill it or?
Sure. I don't want to drop it. Wow. I love the texture of it. These look like mountains to me here. This is a river. And this might be a, I don't know, a church or something. All we are saying, give peace a chance.
Are you hearing yourself sing?
Yes. That old rugged cross, alone on the hill.
Hello, Chris.
Hello. How is it behind your camera? It's fine behind mine. Oh, I happen to like abstraction and very colorful. And so if somebody's looking at it, what they see is in the eye of the beholder. I just enjoy doing it.
My name's Marilyn Schmidt, and I'm interviewing Chris Brown today. Well, what inspires you the most?
Just doing what I'm doing, and every day I'm doing art, it's an adventure. I mean, I know how to, the logistical part of it, the paints and the setup and the canvas and what I'm using, I know that, but I discover something new every time I do it. And I love that kind of serendipitous moment. Sometimes I have to kind of back myself off from it, the critical voice in my head, just to keep doing it. So the current piece I'm working on, it's sort of like what you can see looking under a microscope.
How long have you been doing art at UCPLA?
11 years. And, you know, I asked myself where was all the time gone, but myself and the group of artists, we've come a long way, and maybe I can show you a piece I did a couple of years ago that I really like. I call it my psychedelic stem cells. And we got a booth at the LA Art Show, and the piece I just spoke of was in the show, and I loved communicating with all the people that came by, and if they wanted explanation, I explained what my vision was, and I took the metro on my own, and sometimes somebody met me there and sometimes not, but I found my own way.
What do you think about when you do your art?
Well, it's part of the creative process, or my creative process, and the world kind of disappears for the time I'm doing it, and I kind of like that, and then come back to the present moment, and you know, it's lunchtime, or I got to use the restroom, or so you know, I kind of, some days I live and breathe the art.
How do you feel about your art in the community?
I take a lot of energy and inspiration from all our different points of view, and working together. I think that's, well, where you are, Exceptional Children's Foundation, you have a huge room and you're all working on your various things, and I personally, I get very inspired and energized by working instead of by myself, as a group, as a community.
I think that's really good knowing that about you, Chris.
Thank you. It's great knowing you too.
I'm glad that you inspire me as an artist really well.
And same here.
I keep wanting to go on. Keep going. You keep going. I'll
Yeah,
keep going.
we'll both keep going.
If I had a song, I'd sing it in the morning, I'd sing it in the evening, all over this land. I'd sing out danger, I'd sing out warning, I'd sing out...
I like things to do with peace and love, and I like to do things with the 60s and things like that. And I'm mostly into love and things like that. Very.
I turned 65, so.
Yeah. I like the 65 stuff.
I'm a baby boomer.
Yeah. Yeah.
What inspires you, Marilyn?
Well, doing artwork, because it's fun and it's peaceful, and I understand more. It's less stressful because you can do whatever you want to create. And I like to do the 60s, I like to do animals, I like to do all kinds of stuff. It doesn't really matter because I'll just think of it in my heart and there it goes.
Moi je t'épie, toi tu me fuis, et pourtant nous aimons. Quand tout va si mal, ce n'est pas normal, je viens d'en trouver la raison. La multiplication de nos petits malheurs sème la division.
What does it mean to you to be a woman and an artist?
It means that it's good, I can be both, and it inspires me, and I hope it inspires other women to do the same. I hope that if they have a talent, they can find a place where they can go and express themselves and really just learn the art really well, and like I do, and feel it in their heart, and just know that it's going to be okay, even if they make a mistake. Oh, well, I make them. That's fine.
What does your art community mean to you?
It means that ECF has great value to me because I've learned so much since I've been here. And my friends They're really nice and everything, and I get a good vibe every time I come here. Hold this up for you. Yeah. Here's my piece, and I think that it says it all. It's about love, and the people around me, they're inspiration.
What artist, living or dead, inspires you, motivates you?
I think Van Gogh. I like the way his art is and stuff like that, and I think that he was a very special man, although he was thought strange, but I thought he was special.
Of the fellow artists that you work with, what of their work really gets you motivated and you go, wow, that's amazing? Or
oh, I just love the way they paint, and I love the way they do things and take their time, and each little detail is so beautiful, and their steady hands. Oh my God, that's amazing to have steady hands like that. I never thought anybody could, or I could. That it helps when the instructor has an idea too, and me and the instructor can work it out, and it's just so beautiful. Their ideas and my ideas, we're like two ships working together. Yeah, it's just a beautiful thing. Just knowing when you're done, it's like, wow, I did this. Half the time, I have a hard time believing it myself. Yeah, I do.
yeah, I feel exactly the same way. I did that.
Yeah, and I kind of go, whoa, I can do anything. That's what I'm taught. When I first came here, I was so shy. I didn't know anybody, but now I'm not, and I like to eat with my friends and be with my friends. I hate leaving. Yeah. I always get a big hug from Vanessa. No, she's my best friend here, and there's a lot of best friends here, and I love this place, and I don't want to ever leave.